Hi folks, if you're a returning viewer, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, my name's Lindsay and I want to share my passion for fly fishing with you. So today we're going to look at 5 accessories which will do across still water, river and loch style that might help you with your fishing this season. So without further ado, let's get into it. Show me a fisherman that doesn't like a gadget and I will show you a barefaced liar. We all love a new bit of kit. For the bulk of us, an upgrade to a new fishing rod or reel is a rare event. If you're anything like me though, you're always looking out for a new accessory that's going to help make you more efficient when you do get the opportunity to go fishing. I've tried to mix it up a little with accessories that cover both running water, still water and loch style fishing. Even a little one at the end for your fly tying desk. I will leave links to each of the products in the description below this video. Let's jump straight in with the first item, the Easy Switch Tool. If you have followed the channel for a while, you may recall my trip to Slovenia last year. I was guided by Leslie Jansen from Slowfly. He had a method of tying flies to your tippet that was extremely fast using a set of tweezers.
Okay guys, for my work I need to change a lot of flies for my clients, so I like to do it quick and easy. So this is a knot I use. I rig the fly on and then I hang the fly in a loop under my hand. I stick the tag end out on the right side, I hang the leader over my hand, then I use my tweezer and I stick it in. And I do the helicopter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I grab the end and I pull it through. Then I grab the fly and I hold the leader and I give it a one strong tug. That's a 10-second fly change.
When I was making the video in Slovenia, Leslie told me he was developing a product that would do this and much more, and promised to send me one when the production model was ready. Just before Christmas, one popped through the door. Now it's taken me a little time to get to grips with it, but now I've been using it for a while, I really find it useful. If you're a little short-sighted, this tool is a game changer. Essentially, it's a set of tweezers with some line clippers attached. Now, this might sound a little tacky, but it has been done in such a way that it oozes quality. It comes in a soft leather wallet. It is beautifully crafted and features the Easy logo in the front. There is a small steel guard to prevent damage when returning the tool to the holder. At the top is a clip to attach to a jacket, fly vest or pack, and towards the bottom of the case is a small disc magnet. This is helpful during changes of flies. The tool itself is attached to the case by a micro zinger cord, so the tool is not parted company with the case. I would have liked to have seen a clip or a pin at the back as an alternative way to secure the item to your person. Of course, all these additions would add to the production cost. A well thought out and practical piece of kit that will help you in the field. Now, primarily I use this for river fishing. I find it quite difficult sometimes when I'm using very fine tippets and small flies just to work the tippet material to create a knot on the fly. This just makes it so much easier. Now, I use a very specific knot that works for me. There are various other knots that can be tied with the tool, and on Leslie's website there is some tutorial videos on how you can do different knots. It really is up to yourself, but it's a little game changer this for me. It's been an excellent tool and I'm really looking forward to using it on the rivers throughout the season. From all the items that I'm going to be showing you today, this is the one that's really got me excited. It's an excellent piece of kit, well thought through. It probably could do with a little bit of refinement, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a great item and it's nearly there as regards to product. Number 2 then is a rod holder. I moved across to a Pelly box around 10 years ago, and I have to say, for all the expense, it has been a great investment. The one thing I have missed though is the rod holder. I know, first world problems. What prompted me to get one of these was a Facebook post from an angler looking for a rod holder solution. One of the very first replies on Facebook was, "Hold up arm and grip," and it comes in left and right hand models. It did make me chuckle. The reality is though, that I have seen many rods broken in boats and car parks, and the price of a fly fishing rods these days is not to be sniffed at. Anywho, As I scrolled down the Facebook feed, there was a post from Nick Tompkins, who made this for me. There are, as you can imagine, lots of alternatives. The reason I got the Pelly box in the first place was to protect my gear, and the last thing I wanted to do was drill holes in the box to fit a bracket to hold my rod and compromise the exterior of the box. This one attaches to a strong Velcro patch that causes no damage to your box. It can be removed and stowed when not in use. Ideal when packing the box into the car. Now, I don't believe Nick has a website for these, but he is on Facebook, and I'll put a profile link in the description below. If you want to get in touch with Nick to purchase one, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to service your order. On to number 3 then, a metric rod ruler. I have never been an angler that seeks out trophy fish to weigh and then record as a personal best. I have had a few memorable fish over the years that I am content to know that they were good fish. Another way of recording the size of fish, which folks use, is to record the length, and that's where this rod ruler comes into play. For me then, it serves 2 purposes. In the winter, I do quite a lot of grayling fishing. Sadly, not this year as the weather's been horrific, but in general, I like to measure some of the better fish that I catch, rather than carrying a set of scales to weigh them. The second reason then is when competition fishing. If there is a set length limit to the target species, it's always good to check. Now, to give you an example of that, I want to tell you a little story about back in the day. I'll swing the light. So, when I qualified to fish my first England final, I was very lucky to be controlled by a chap called Mike Tinian. He was a multi-capped England international with a vast amount of experience, and I was lucky enough to control him first, which gave me an insight into a river that I hadn't fished very much. In the afternoon, Mick controlled me on quite a wide section of the Tees. If you know the river, it's above Widdy Bank, and it is a very difficult river to fish. And what I was doing was, because the morning session, the inside line is really carved up by the morning anglers. In the afternoon, I was having to wade across the river to catch fish. Because it was fresh water, it hadn't been fished. I was managing to build a fairly steady bag. But the weather was bad, the river was rising fast. It was quite a chore once you'd caught a fish to get back and forward. And with about 9 minutes to go in the session, and I was quite near exhaustion, and I was a much younger, fitter man then, I caught a fish. I got it in the net, I waded all the way back across the river, falling in a couple of times as I went, which is normal for the Tees, I might add. And when I got to Mick, he said, "Lindsay, it's only 19.5. So I slipped it back, got back in the river, waded all the way back. That was the lesson learnt. If I'd had a rod measure on, or even a mark on my rod, to know that the fish wasn't 20 centimetres, I could have saved myself a lot of time and effort, measured it up against the rod, released it, and then I could have been fishing again to try and catch a fish that would have made a difference. But there we go. You live and learn. So, relatively inexpensive and useful to have on your rod. Guys, before we get on to the last 2 items, if you're getting value from the videos and you're enjoying what I'm doing, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free and you can unsubscribe at any time. And while you're down there tickling that subscribe button, why don't you give this video a like? Now, let's jump straight back in. Number 4 then. Heated socks. Yes, you did hear me correctly. So, back in the days of serving in the army, I would have killed for a pair of heated socks. But they weren't available back then, they are available now, and they have all kinds of different fishing applications. In the interests of transparency, the link provided in the description below is an Amazon affiliate link, which simply means if you purchase a pair of these socks, I get a very small commission. It does not mean that you will be charged any more for the item, and it helps towards the cost of making the videos. I initially bought these for the grayling season. Standing in a freezing cold river for prolonged periods of time does start to chill you down, and often the first thing that feels it is your feet. These socks come with 2 rechargeable batteries that give you heating for up to 20 hours. They are comfortable, warm and elasticated if you want to put another pair of socks on with them. And of course, they are washable. Nobody wants stinky feet. The batteries, although they may seem large, they are quite comfortable on your feet. You simply press the button, comes on, and you can adjust the heat control by just touching the button. There's 4 settings, and the top setting I find is rather too warm, to be honest. I like to have it about 2, but I've not come across conditions that warrant me pumping it much further than that. It is charged with a USB cable, and initially you have to charge them for around 20 hours, but after that they take no time at all to charge up and you're good to go. As I said earlier, I got these for fishing during the grayling season, but I dare say they're going to do a great turn for me when I go to Michigan next month to tackle the steelhead. But thinking on, I think they've got so many other applications, fishing on the bank during the winter, and indeed if you're into back scuttling at Farmoor in a boat, there's nothing better than having roasty toasty feet. So definitely worth considering. Before we come on to the very last item, why don't you let me know which one your favourite is in the comment section below. Number 5 then, and I did promise something for the fly tyers. Now if you're anything like me, your fly tying bench is an absolute disgrace and you've got boxes of hooks strewn across your desk. As I was walking around the British Fly Fishing International Fair last weekend, I dropped by the Buzz fly fishing stand. I was picking up some products that I dare say I don't really need, but it's very difficult to walk into these places and not buy something. It's like fruit machines, you become an addict. But anyway, whilst I was paying for my various bits and bobs, Simon Caddy gave me one of these, and it's an absolute godsend. Now there are many hook storage solutions out there, but for the most part they are dependent on decanting your hooks into another vessel and then labelling this up. For the purpose of making videos, I like to show people the hooks that I am using, so retain all the boxes that they come in. In the past they have been scattered around my tying bench in disarray. A simple but effective way of storing your hooks. I hope you found some of these items interesting and useful, and you can check out where to get them in the video description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.